November 21, 2017, to most ordinary Zimbabweans, will remain as the day they finally broke free from 37 years of enslavement, being ruled by the tyrant Robert Mugabe, who had ruled the people with an iron fist and constantly tortured people who opposed his rule, leaving the country in a huge economic crisis, while him and his family lived extravagant lives at the expense of the ordinary Zimbabwean citizens. Some have dubbed it as Zimbabwe's second independence, and they have been called to make it an official public holiday. But what if in some alternate timeline, the coup never happened? How would Zimbabwe have turned out? What would have been life for the ordinary Zimbabwean right now? Hello, this is Eskid 116 from Parallel Universe, where we discuss alternate scenarios of major events that have happened and see how things would have panned out if they did or didn't occur. Bear with me on this. This is my own personal thinking, not what would have actually happened. So please don't cut my head off for sharing my opinion. And please like and subscribe to get more content like this. Before we dive into the topic, we have to understand what had happened for there to be even a coup in Zimbabwe in the first place. This all started with a rally in Gwanda in the month of August 2017, when the vice president of the time, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, or ED, got really sick from eating an ice cream and had to be rushed to a hospital in South Africa for medical attention. The ZANU-PF released a statement saying ED had a running stomach and everything is under control. However, ED came out saying that he had been poisoned by some members of the party, and this actually caused a great rift within the already fragile party. What you have to understand is this. The ZANU-PF members knew that Mugabe was old and frail, and they were now looking for a successor for him. This question was so pivotal that policy formulation and implementation had been at a standstill. Political maneuvering over who would replace Mugabe had paralyzed the once powerful and mighty ZANU-PF party, and the resulting economic implosion is taking a devastating toll on the people and also the infrastructure. This in turn created two factions within the party, mainly the G40, which was led by Mugabe's wife Grace, and the Lacoste, which was led by ED. The G40, or Generation 40, had represented the so-called Young Turks in the party. This group comprised of ambitious mavericks such as Jonathan Moyo, Xavier Kasukuir, and also João, Mugabe's nephew. On the other side, the Lacoste, or ED's faction, comprised of ZANU-PF heavyweights such as Josiah Ungwe, Patrick Chinamasa, Kembo Mohadi, and Opam Chinguri. Moving on. After the Gwanda rally, Grace and her G40 members started an all-out attack on ED through hate speech at rallies, and then influenced Mugabe to have ED kicked out up until he was fired in October by Mugabe, both from the party and government as vice president. At this point, it was now clear that Grace Mugabe was going to be Mugabe's successor. In the early November, however, ED, with the help of the army, seized control of the government in a peaceful manner and tried to push Mugabe to resign from office. After mass protests and long winding talks, Mugabe finally resigned on the 21st of November 2017, leading to ED becoming the second executive president of Zimbabwe. For the coup not to have happened, it would mean that ED would have never been fired from the ZANU-PF party in the first place. And also ED would have gone with the idea that he was not poisoned at the Gwanda rally, but instead just had a running stomach. This in turn would have stalled his removal from office and also reduced Grace Mugabe's rants on Lacoste and ED. But it would not mean that her political ambitions would cease, but her and her G40 members would have to find other means and ways to get rid of ED. In this scenario, it would mean that more rallies, better campaigning strategies, marketing herself to the people, and also to the president. It would also mean applying more pressure on Mugabe to push ED out of office, and the only other way was through the Politburo meeting, which is going to be held in December 2017, where they hoped that Mugabe was going to appoint a successor. At this point, it would have been visible to the entire world that Grace was gunning to become Mugabe's next successor. And the only way to get in was through the Politburo meeting, which is going to be held in December. And if the November coup had not happened, it would mean that all eyes would be on the Politburo meeting. And if my prediction is right, Mugabe might have sacked ED as vice president and placing Grace as the new successor, which most likely would put her as the candidate of the 2018 elections. With this move, Grace would have gone on a manhunt to fire each and every associate of ED from the party and placing her allies in the top positions of both party and government. With this turn of events, it would lead to some of ED's loyalists forming their own party or joining the opposition party to try and oust Grace and ZANU-PF from power, and in its most likely case, ZANU would have lost the 2018 elections. It's pretty hard to predict how things would have panned out if the November coup didn't happen. But I can tell you this. The people of Zimbabwe are strong, resilient, and educated people, which is shown through doing one of the most peaceful coups the world has ever seen, showing a shining light on the entire world. It was only a matter of time before the people had cracked under the thumb of the Mugabe family. And even if the November coup had not occurred, it was bound to happen sooner or later. From the rants of the First Lady, the worsening economy, constant abuse of people's rights, it was all going to implode in Mugabe's face, but only time would have told. That's all we had for you here at Parallel Universe. Please like and subscribe to our channel below to get more content like this. And for me and the rest of the team, goodbye.